you listen to this song, the interesting thing about Ralph's lead vocal on this is that you can hear him channeling Michael Jackson. That's why we don't accept any of this shenanigans when people say, "Oh, Michael Jackson wasn't that big." The hell he wasn't. Don't let these hot take artists, don't let these historically ignorant people lie to you about Michael Jackson. What's going on, everybody? You're right on time for another ride on the Groove Line with your host, Chris Stevens. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there. It's Friday, and we're going to party on Fridays as we always do. And today, we're going back to 1986, and we are going to the Fab Four era of the New Edition. Obviously, you guys are not familiar with New Edition. Bobby Brown was released from the group or kicked out, whichever you want to call it, in the latter stages of 1985 during the All for Love run. But New Edition soldiered on with Ralph Tresvant, Ricky Bell, Ron DeVoe, and Mike Bivins. And one of the songs that they put out in 1986, it actually went top 10 on the R&B chart. So they were still a hit-making group, even though they were kind of in flux at the moment. And we'll talk more about the album that they released later on in 86 when it comes time for that 40th anniversary. But we're going to talk about a soundtrack song that New Edition put out in 1986. And let's talk about the movie first. This movie is Running Scared, featuring the late Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal as Chicago detectives who have run afoul of their department and have gotten into all sorts of shenanigans and need to, solve the crime at the end of the day, even though they are no longer technically on the force. And the soundtrack itself, it has some heavy hitters on it. We're talking El DeBarge, the Zambello brothers. Of course, Michael Zambello, who played guitar for Stevie for so many years, and of course had Maniac from the Flashdance soundtrack, and New Edition. And New Edition song is Once in a Lifetime Groove. And this was written by Freddie and Christine Perrin and Rick Wyatt Jr. And of course, the soundtrack itself was produced by Bruce Sweetian, the late great Rod Temperton, and Richard Rudolph, who of course is Maya Rudolph's dad and was married to the late great Minnie Riperton. So when you get into 1986, you start to get this sort of line of where I guess electro was sort of kind of phasing out, but you can hear hints of New Jack Swing and a lot of the stuff in the late stages of 85, beginning of 86. You could lean on Alice by Full Force, and some of the stuff that Force MDs was putting out at the time as well. But the song that really sounded like there was going to be a switch up to me in the way to sound, because you still had, by 85, you still had a lot of sort of futuristic, sort of Planet Rock type stuff, but not as much as it once was. Like from 80 to 81, 82, 83, probably through most of 84, you had songs that pretty much sounded similar but different. But now, you had your TR-808s, your TR-909s, you had your your ARP, your Moog synths, and all of that. But Yamaha dropped something in 86 that changed music forever. That, of course, is the DX7. I have been looking for a DX7 for years, and I didn't know how expensive them bad boys were until I just went, perusing on different eBay, auctions and all of that. And I'm like, damn, DX7 costs more than the car I'm driving right now. One in good condition anyway. And I don't know nothing about restoring a synth, so I'm not even going to try it. Any DX7 I come across is probably going to be already in good shape, but yeah. So you start to get these, these new things, these new drum machines, these new, synth packages. I think the SP12 was starting to, become a thing at that time, SP1200. So you think about the way the sound started to switch up late stages of 85, beginning of 86. And Jimmy and Terry have a lot to do with that as well. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, of course. And this song, I don't know if this is something that, the Perrin family and, Richard Rudolph and Rod Temperton and Bruce Sweetian were trying to accomplish. But Once in a Lifetime Groove absolutely sounds like something that you could picture the SOS band doing at that time, or even Climax, who Jimmy and Terry worked with originally, or even Janet, even though Janet was already set to blow up. Control was already through the roof by the time Once in a Lifetime Groove came out. So, but you listen to this song. The interesting thing about Ralph's lead vocal on this is that you can hear him channeling Michael Jackson. That's why we don't accept any of this shenanigans when people say, "Oh, Michael Jackson wasn't that big." The hell he wasn't. Don't let these hot take artists, don't let these historically ignorant people lie to you about Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was him when he was alive. He's been him, and he's been gone almost 17 years. Don't let these people lie to you about Michael Jackson or his influence. Because 17-year-old Ralph Tresvant was definitely doing the whole ooh, all of that stuff on Once in a Lifetime Groove. So don't let anybody lie to you about Michael Jackson's greatness, about his influence. Just don't. Just don't. Please, I'm begging you. For the love of God, for the love of all of us who love music and who are historians in this thing. Please, don't let people lie to you about Michael Jackson's influence, because he was everywhere. You got to remember, Beat It, I mean, Beat It. Beat It's my favorite song off of Thriller, if you were wondering. But Thriller had been out 3 years by the time, the winter of '86 comes around. I mean, Mike was doing other stuff. I mean, he was probably already working on the Bad Sessions, if I'm not mistaken. But you look at, how many people just were influenced by Mike and influenced by Prince, and you get what R&B would eventually become in its golden era of the late '80s and through the mid '90s. You probably say the late '90s, but yeah, if you listen to Ralph Tresvant on Once in a Lifetime Groove, girl, don't be afraid. You can hear Michael singing that part. Absolutely. Reach out and touch the love that I have for you. Yeah, he was channeling Mike on that. Make no mistake about it. And the beat itself is actually real. Again, it's very New Jack swingish. It's very upbeat. It's very funky. It's very, danceable. Wherever you lay your foot down, you should be on beat. That's how, straight ahead it is. I mean, there's nothing that really deviates from it. There's this hard kick that just, puts you right where you need to be. And Once in a Lifetime Groove, it's one of those songs that people forget in the New Edition catalog, because again, it was during the the Fab Four era when Bobby was off doing "I Need a Girlfriend" and all of that, all that good stuff. So you listen to this song and you, I think maybe Bobby, that might be one of the last songs that he was actually on, if I'm not mistaken, or I could be wrong. Maybe it was just Ricky, Ralph, Ronnie, and Mike on that joint. But either way, Once in a Lifetime Groove went to number 10 on the R&B charts and 9 on the dance charts. Back when the dance charts were still super important. The dance charts are important now, but when you look at the 70s, when you look into how disco necessitated the birth of the dance charts, and then you come into the 80s and everybody's like, oh, disco's dead. No, we just going to take this thing back underground and call it electro boogie. And there's this new sound out of Chicago called house music. Oh, there's a house music song. Can't wait to talk to you about that. Turns 40 years old this year. Can't wait. Again, so much stuff we're going to talk about on this channel. So please, if you have not subscribed yet, please do. But if you've not heard Once in a Lifetime Groove, please go listen to it and let us know what you think. But if you remember that song, please let us know your memories of it. We'd love to hear from you. And that's going to do it for this ride on the Groove Line. Greatly appreciate y'all as always. Contact information will be in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell so you get notified of all the new videos that drop on this channel. And don't forget to like and comment on the videos, because as you guys know by now, I do talk back in the comments. We have good conversation. So feel free to converse with me. So thank you guys for riding with me on the Groove Line. And until the next time we ride, y'all enjoy your weekend, and may you find the groove, or may the groove find you.